So they do that. That all happens before we talk about social macro theory. So that takes, I'd say, half to 2/3 of the class. So the last third is on macro theory. And I thought about how much theory do I want to talk about in this? And I just decided to, and my students really don't, maybe your students are different. My sociology students are not, they don't really like theory. So I come out of my master's in humanities. So I decided to make it more humanistic. And some people like that. Some people might not like that. But you notice I don't really talk about Marx and Weber or Weberian, even though it's in there, it's not centerfold. So it's in this language of materialism and ideationalist. I want them to start taking the idea of theories and concepts and apply them to their action. I show them is from the Vatican. That's the image. It's called the School of Athens. And I talk about it in there. Why I love this is that it's not just Greek, Plato and Aristotle, but it's also Roman scholars and intellectuals. It's also Persian and Arab scholars. It's this larger conversation that's happening in this community of intellectuals. So now go to the other image. It's an image of Plato and Aristotle. Plato is having his finger up, and he's talking about the world of ideas, that ideas move history. And he had a particular perspective. He thinks ideas move history. And in our world of sociology, Weber thought ideas move history. The Protestant work ethic is what's driving the formation of capitalism. If you look at Aristotle, I'm not calling Aristotle a Marxist, but he's a materialist. He's pointing to the material world. And now I'm using the sociological language. The economy and technologies driving history and driving change and driving the formation of capitalism. As Marx would say, you would not have industrial capitalism without the steam engine. And you wouldn't have it without the formation of the bourgeoisie that then changes the economy, then changes the politics. The economy is the driver of education and how the education system is set up. So we have that conversation. And why I'm doing this, because I want them to start to learn to take concepts and to drive them toward ideas, toward their campaign, right? How are materialist and ideationalist factors? And I look at the economy. Is it the change of capitalism and the alienation that the white working class is feeling because of the changes of capitalism that are driving this? Is it technology, the social media that is driving some of this change? Or is it ideationalist factors? And I don't really care what students think about that, but I want them to have that conversation to start applying these ideas to a real example in the real world. There's this macro level, but there's also the community change level, which is Alinsky versus the woman-centered model. I have found this being a successful as we kind of go from a larger change to the community change, and then to actually thinking about kind of critical education theory on a college campus. And each one of those, I'm trying to get them to think about how these concepts apply.